Here we are, Panthers Nation. Welcome to your Chicago Bears, Carolina Panthers preview. I am a man of my word. I tweeted out that I was thinking about not even recording this episode, that I wasn't going to preview the Bears. Multiple reasons. Main reason being that it was such a short week that I'd have to cram all this stuff in. Well, here I am cramming it in. So I just recorded the reaction episode to our loss to the Colts. That was like a 15-minute episode. I'm compiled all that and letting that export. And I was like, well, I'll go ahead. Might as well, while I'm waiting here, record the Bears preview. It is a short week. It's a Thursday night football game on Amazon Prime. And, man, there's some history here. History before the season. If we go back, we all know the Carolina Panthers traded Clyde Hall to the Chicago Bears for Bryce Young. And I got to say, at this point, I'm still saying that the Chicago Bears won this trade. We traded what was then our first round pick, which is pick number 9, our second round pick, number 61, our 2024 first round selection, which looks closer and closer to being like the number 1 overall pick, and then a 2025 second round pick, as well as DJ Moore, who you could say is also a first round pick. This game on paper, just like, every game, not every game, but these last few games is one that I had pegged coming into the season as a game that we had circled on our calendar, primetime game. We all know the story. I think we anticipated the Panthers being in a better situation coming into this game, and that's not the case. Both teams are terrible. Panthers are if I'm rating them, Panthers are the worst team in the league, so take that for what it is. Panthers are 1-7. It was funny, I was about to give this stat, thinking I was going to add some value. I was like, this is a joke. Panthers are 0-4 on the road this year, won one game, so I was laughing at the fact that I was going to say that. Chicago Bears not doing much better at 2-7 and then 1-3 at home. So one more win than us. Justin Fields has been out. It sounds like Justin Fields, if I'm guessing, would likely make his return in this game. ESPN is giving us a 39% chance to win. The Bears have a little over 60% chance. And this is what I get for doing this early. Let's see. I was seeing what the money line is or odds heading into. I would anticipate the Bears being probably. So this cannot be accurate. They have the Bears as 2.5-point favorites. This is today, Sunday, when I'm recording this. I think that spread's going to move. I would give the Bears 4.5 to 5 points. That's how bad the Panthers are. Bryce Young coming off the 3 interception game with 2 pick sixes. Do I think he'll play that bad or as bad? No. We saw a little bit of Miles Sanders, who's been quiet the whole year. Does he have this come to Jesus and decide to turn it on? I don't know. There's not a lot of expectations. Where this team goes, and like I keep saying, there's nowhere for them to go. It's funny. I pegged this as a 10-7 football team, and we are 1-7. We are. I gotta say this: if you took the under on the Panthers win total, you got to be sitting here like, oh man, give me my money, because the line was 7.5. We're at 7 or for wins, so we are like slowly creeping there as each game passes, and you're like, get me closer to that basically 10 losses, because then you're 7-10, you're at the under. So 3 more losses is all it takes, and this looks like one of them. We know we got some other games. Anyways. DJ Moore, who has, it's funny, with all these trades that we made, and Panthers fans know it, like Chicago fans, if you're just tuning in, I've got to say this game's not going to be close. We've already found out that Brian Burns is in the concussion protocol. Let me go back and tell you. Burns is in the concussion protocol. Xavier Woods is going to be questionable. I think C.J. Henderson is in concussion protocol. Steven Sullivan had a shoulder. Chandler Wooten, I believe, had an ankle. And this is not even including everyone else that's already been injured. Laviska, oh my gosh, Von Bell, J.C. Horn, who's on IR. It's like, I don't know at this point. I don't know what we're going to try out there. It's a short week. Panthers are not going to win this game. And I'm not even like throwing out my final prediction yet, but the Panthers are going to win. It's a terrible week, man. It's tough for me to record a preview right after a reaction, and the reaction was the Panthers lost. I usually let this simmer for a few days, and then my preview is a little more positive, but there's no positivity that can be gained from this past week or this whole season at this point. You know, it's funny. Fields has played in not near as many games and still has more, or barely, just shy of Bryce Young in terms of passing yards. And I know in Chicago, there's a lot riding on this game. You beat us. That's another win in the win column. Will get you even closer to securing that number 1 overall pick. And then if you want to reset the market, you can. Here, the Bears are about to be just like rich in capital. There's so many things they can do. One, some team out there is going to feel like that they can take Justin Fields and put him and build him into something. There's a team out there that's going to be desperate and like, oh, we take him. I heard it even floated like Atlanta Falcons, the Falcons take him, whoever it is. Look, Daniel Jones just got hurt. They fear an injury there. Gardner Minshew's the starter of the Colts. Like, there's so many injuries that occur, and teams are looking for good quarterbacks, whether it's Arizona or Minnesota and Kirk Cousins. So the opportunity's there, and there's going to be a team that's desperate. Carolina Panthers have been desperate. If we look at what they try to do with Baker Mayfield and look at him winning with Sam Darnold. So there's a team that's going to want him. So you have that capital. Then you're going to have our number 1 overall pick, first-round pick. I say it's number 1 overall. Maybe we're second if Arizona ends up beating us out for the worst team. It's going to be close, man. It's going to be like a photo finish last week of the season. So you have that. And then they'll also already have their pick, which is probably going to be top 10, top 5, because they're just as bad. So they can take that first and look at the haul they got for where they are today. So they either can like take this, like if they are, well, assuming they have the number 1 overall pick. I mean, I don't see Arizona coming off if they finish there, but you get in these situations where they could move up, or they know that there's going to be teams down that want to move up. I don't see how they can pass on a quarterback this time. They've got to get a quarterback this year. I know I'm kind of going on more of a Bears tirade talk through, but anyways, that's part of the intrigue of this game is that storyline. And I got to say, I got to apologize to folks that I tweeted it for all the fans of the NFL that are watching this. I'm going to tell you, go ahead and find something else to do on Thursday night. Do not watch this. Will I watch it? Yeah, if I can stay awake to just live through this. Man, it's a tough year for the Panthers. It's a very tough year. DJ Moore, the thing I was going back to was just like, we trade away all this with the CMC. DJ Moore, 44 receptions, 691 yards, 5 touchdowns, looking like a number 1 receiver that would have been nice for Bryce or whoever. Yeah, this is the state of where we are. And Panthers, there's not a lot of positives to look for because you don't have your capital. Bears, on the other hand, so much to look forward to, so much to plan for. I'm not even getting in really to the schematics of the game and the game plan. I guess I should do that very quickly. Let's look at this. If I can, I would like to at least give you a little tidbit before I cut this thing off because there's not much to go through. Try this again. I like to use teamrankings.com. I'm not sponsored by them or affiliated with them, but teamrankings.com has some really good data, and they also have the week by week schedule. So I'm going to jump out to week 10. Let's take a look at Carolina at Chicago just to give you a little bit. I'm not really, I talked about the odds and spread, so I'm not going to dive into that. Let's look at I believe there's a few. I should remember which thing. Here we go. All right. Let's go with the offense. So we're scoring about 18 points per game. Their defense is bad, but guess what? So is the Colts, and we couldn't do a thing. They are 28th in the league at giving up 27 points per game. Like I said, we are 25th, giving up 18. I don't know that this has actually been updated since the Sunday game, so this may be a little bit different. Their offense isn't great either, though. A little bit better than us, though, at 21 points per game. And then we know we are 30th overall at 28. See, I don't know that that's been reflected. It might have been. Yards per game, I mean, we're almost last. We're 27th, 284 yards per game. They're putting up about 320, and they give up about 341. Here we are, 12th in the league in how many yards we give up a game. Our issue is we turn the ball over, and in this past game, the issue where we have points off of turnovers, I believe the stat is almost 60, I think 59 points off of turnovers. And a lot of those, well, primarily this past game, 2 interceptions. We've seen fumbles being returned for touchdowns. Not a great recipe for success. Not a great recipe for anything at all. Rushing attack, we rush the ball about 36% of the time, still very pass heavy. Chicago's more balanced at 46% rush to 53% pass. Completion percentage, they're a little bit higher than we are. They're averaging 4.6 yards per carry, which is 5th in the league. We know, or we saw what we did this past week with really a stellar rushing attack that turned into nothing. When you turn the ball over and you commit stupid penalties, those are the things that happen. It's why you lose games. It's why the Panthers are where we are. And I don't know that we'll win a game moving forward for the rest of the season. So there you go. They have the number 1 rushing defense in terms of yards per carry at 3.3. That's how much they're giving up, while we give up about 4.7 yards per rush. So there you go. Yeah. I mean, getting into like the nuts and bolts and this and that, I'm not even going to do it like to that much level in this game. Again, just because of the shorter week. But I do have the Bears winning this game. I have the Bears pretty easily winning the game. I'm going to give I always keep throwing these scores out like we're going to put up, some points. We're not. So I'm going to say Panthers 14, Bears 30. Ugh. That's kind of a high-scoring game or more of a blowout, but that's the way we've been playing. I'm not having much faith. I am 5-3 now. Last week I picked the Texans and we won, and I thought, oh yeah, we'll win this week. Yeah, we didn't win. Terrible. Anyways, that's your preview for this week, folks. Short week. So go out there. You've got the reaction to the Colts. You got the preview for the Bears, and then we'll take a little bit break because we don't have to watch some Panthers football on Sunday. Thank goodness. Anyways, that's all I got. This is Carolina Dad. Y'all have a good one.